What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another deck profile, but this time it's Gear Chronicle for standard format. I've been playtesting this deck for a while now, and it's extremely fun. Like, I love playing Gear Chronicles. Is it meta? Yes, but unfortunately it's not that fast enough to compete with Angel Feathers, with Lord, but still it's a very fun meta deck. It's insane. Yes, I know we kind of have time leap back into Gear Chronicles, and I'm going to break down my build as much as possible. But if you guys like this build, please give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have any comments about my build, please leave it in the comment section down below. Now let's get on the deck profile. We're playing 5 grade 4s. Of course, 2 of them is a time leap card. We're basically playing this card because next stage, your opponent has to be on grade 3 to restand. So what this card does is basically, if your opponent's on grade 2, when on attack, you can put 1 card back to your deck and superior call 1 card grade higher than that card that you put back on board, and it gets plus 10k until the end of the turn. So basically, its time leap is actually pretty good because, again, you can extend early game by playing the grade 1 Steam Maiden card, playing it early when you discard it, and then you can time leap it back into your deck for a grade 2, which most of the time your grade 2 they're gonna call out is going to be either him, which is basically it can get rid of one of your opponent's cards by discarding a card and drawing a card, and then you can soul charge a card if you have a grade 4 this turn, or it's gonna be this card. Honestly, this card is amazing. This card puts in so much work. Her ability is you can bind 1 card. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna explain her later in the deck profile. But she's one of the main targets that you want to go into. So that's one of the grade 4s. Next, we have 3 copies of Next Stage. You don't need to play 4, but if you want to, go ahead. I think 3 is enough, especially since there are ways to put back cards from discard pile into your deck. So basically, what this card does is only if your opponent's on grade 3 after it attacks, you can discard 2 cards, bring back Chronojet Dragon, and stand it. And it gets -1 draft check, and it gets plus 15k. So basically, you're getting an extra draft check with plus 15k. It's very easy. It's very simple. It's not that hard to go off. His ability can combo with other cards. For example, the Chrono Tooth Tiger and the Steam Maidens, because those abilities activate when they're discarded. But overall, guys, Next Stage is one of the best restanding vanguards in standard format. And of course, we're only playing 4 grade 3s, and of course, it's Chronojet Dragon. What this card does is basically, you can discard a card, discard a grade 3 or higher to go into a grade 4, and then at the end of the turn, this card comes back. His other ability is, on attack, you can counterblast 1, give this unit plus 5k, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels. So it's pretty good. It definitely puts pressure if your opponent's on 4 or 5 damage. But overall, guys, this is the main grade 3 that you want to have. Not for grade 2s. In my opinion, Steam Skara Ikbog is the MVP grade 2 because this card can help you get triple drive. His ability is only once per turn. Counterblast 1, you can discard 1 card, give your Vanguard an extra drive check. And if this card is in your hand, you can discard it as a grade 3. Very simple, very easy. In my opinion, it's one of the best grade 2s in the deck. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Smoke Gear Dragon. What this card does is basically, on attack, if you have a grade 4, if you have a grade 4, it gets plus 5k, and you can Soul Blast 1 to draw a card. His other ability is, if you have Chronojet as your main Vanguard, any card that you discard that turn is treated as a grade 3. So let's say, for instance, my hand's really bad. Let's say I have Chronojet Dragon and I only have like triggers. I can discard a trigger and treat it as a grade 3 if I have this on board with him. So that's the main reason why I'm playing two copies of Smoke Gear Dragon, because that situation does come up a lot where I actually don't have any grade 3s in my hand, that I might have to discard 2 cards just to strike. So this card helps me avoid it, and it's a +1 if it attacks and Soul Blast 1. Next, we're playing 2 copies of the new grade 2 on place. Basically, discard a card, Soul Blast a card. You can retire one of your opponent's regards, the same grade or less. And then on attack, if you have grade 4 this turn, you can soul charge 1. Now, in my opinion, I don't think you need to play 2 copies. You can play just 1 copy of this card. But the main reason why I play 2 copies of this card, because there are some decks that need to retire certain cards. For example, Murakumo and Lord. There are certain cards that I need to get rid of on my opponent's board to try to OTK them in 1 turn. But again, you don't need to play 2 copies of the card. You can actually play 3 copies of this card, because this card puts in a lot of work. Basically, her ability is bind the card in your drop zone. When this unit attacks your opponent's Vanguard, your opponent cannot call grade 1s or greater. Like, she's that good. She's such a good Vanguard. And then at the end of the turn, put this card into your soul and you draw a card. Tell me that's not broken. 1, it goes into your soul. And in this build, we do soul blast a lot. So that's actually really good. And you draw a card. So it's one of the best 1-for-1s for Gear Chronicles. And honestly, I'm debating on bumping her up to 2 cards. Next, we're playing 4 copies of Chrono Tooth Tiger. This card is the main grade 1 that you want to ride, because Vanguard ability, before the ride phase, you may draw a card. For free, draw a card. It's a +1. It's such a good card. His other ability, when this card is discarded for an ability, you can counter blast 1, superior call this card on board as rested, and you may draw a card. This is a mandatory staple in any Gear Chronicle deck. But the issue before was that this card was extremely difficult to find, and they were extremely expensive, like $20 each. Thankfully, thanks to Clan Selection Volume 1, this card is extremely affordable and it's very easy to obtain. Another card, which was also very difficult to obtain because it came out as a promo, but no one had it. Steam Maiden Ribu. What this card does is basically, when you discard this card for an ability, you may Soul Blast 1, superior call this card from the grave to the Burger Circle with plus 5k. Her other ability, you can put back 1 normal unit at the bottom of your deck and you draw a card. So it could send back your grade 4s, it could send back next stage, because that's the main grade 4 they want to send back. You can send back copies of herself, so you can make sure you can keep playing her every turn. This card, in my opinion, is one of the best cards. It's the MVP card for Gear Chronicles because it can get you multiple attacks. What I like to do is I like to attack my rear guards first, then next stage discard 2 cards. Let's say I have 2 of them in hand, discard both of them, call both of them out in the front rows, and they both get plus 5 each. So they're 13k rear guards, and they're both plus 1s. Like, this card is such a good card for Gear Chronicles. Like I said, they were very difficult to obtain because they only came out as promos, and for some odd reason we couldn't get them. But thankfully, thanks to Clan Section Volume 1, these cards were easily obtainable. They're not cheap, by the way. They're still expensive. They're like $9 to $10 each. But this card helps Gear Chronicle players actually play Gear Chronicles. Next, we're playing this card, Lost Gear Dog 8. A lot of people are saying you don't need it. I like it because it makes the deck more consistent. So on place, you can reveal a grade 3 or greater, search your deck for another grade 3, and then discard a grade 3. So let's say you only have grade 4s in your hand and you don't have a Chronojet. Play this card, reveal one of them, search your deck for a Chronojet Dragon, add it to your hand, and then discard one of these. It's very simple. It just makes the deck more consistent. Make sure that you ride into Chronojet every turn, and it has an ability in your hand. It can be discarded as a grade 3. Very simple. Now this card, a lot of people are saying you don't need it. I like to play it just for the extra guarantee. We're playing 2 copies of Steam Breath Dragon. Again, you don't need it. I preferably like to have it because it increases chances of me getting my grade 3. Basically, on place, from your hand, top 5 grade 3, add it to your hand if you have it. But it does get plus 5k whenever you discard a card this turn. And let's be real, guys. With this build, we're always discarding cards every turn, no matter what. So it's going to get us plus 5k no matter what. Now for triggers, it's very simple. We're playing 8 crit. Not that hard to understand. 4 heals, and of course you guys already know we're playing 4 PGs. You could play Sentinel crits, but in my opinion it's better off to play 4 draw PGs to draw into your combo pieces, to draw into your Chronojet Dragons, to draw into your grade 1s that go off when they're discarded. Like, I preferably want to play draw triggers because you need to draw into certain cards to actually go off. And of course we're playing the starter, on ride, draw card, very simple. So in my opinion, Gear Chronicles is extremely fun to play, but like I said beforehand, they weren't that easy to play because there are certain cards that were very difficult to get. Chrono Tooth Tiger, this Steam Maiden, which is the MVP card, Steam Skara, Iqbog, these were hard to get. And we finally have a grade 4 that we want to stride into, which actually does do something besides the Phoenix. So honestly guys, Gear Chronicles, I think they're 10 times, I mean, they're definitely doing better than they did before. But is this deck still meta? In my opinion, I think it is, depending how well you play it. But like I said guys, it has a hard matchup against Angel Fighters, which, let's be honest, everybody has a hard matchup against Angel Fighters. Has a hard matchup against Murakumo and Lord. But overall guys, this deck is extremely fun to play because it literally reminds me of Time Leap. So if you guys enjoyed the deck profile, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel for more videos. Every Thursday, standard Market Watch, and every Wednesday is going to be our premium Market Watch. So yeah guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are being safe, and I hope to see you guys always next time. Deuces.